Hi guys, my name is Kiera, also known as Hobonichi, and today we're in my Hobonichi cousin, my baby, my pride and joy. This is the weekly section that we set up for this week, and it is quite cute, if I do say so myself. If you want to see how this was set up using the E-Star Cases sticker book, Bloom of Youth, I believe it's called, then make sure you follow the link in the description. I use the exact same stickers that I'm using today. So we are going to set up the daily pages using this same sticker book. I'm going to look for things that are more school vibes, it's giving a little bit more school-esque than just sports, because this is very like sport related sticker book, which I love. Side note, I love how the girls are drawn in this sticker book, but I follow a theme every month. If you're new here, hi, how are you? I do follow a theme in my Hobonichi, and each week loosely follows that theme. So, of course, for the month of August, when my kids went back to school, the theme is back to school. So I'm looking for girls with backpacks. I'm also going to take the cheerleading girls, because I don't know why. Cheerleaders, they just remind me of school. Do I know that you can be an adult cheerleader? Yes, but for some reason, I just think school. So I am going to take this cheerleader that's walking, and I'll find a scene for her to be walking through. And I'll also find a little box so I can write which week it is, because I like having that on my daily section, even though I already know what week it is based off the stickers, because I'm using the same stickers that I use in my weekly section. Yes, it is very like aesthetic, but it also lets me know where I am in the week. But I also like seeing the number of what number week we are on. Hopefully that makes sense. If you are hearing some kind of clucking sound, my youngest son has a rubber chicken, and I don't know who got that for him. For damn sure it wasn't me, but somebody did for some kind of gift. And you know what? People always be sending the loudest toys for gifts. Like, think of the mom. I know that's I know that's selfish, but yeah, I just find it funny. So if you hear chicken clucking, or if you hear kids laughing, if you hear doors closing, yeah, we are getting ready for school right now. This is kind of why the video is coming up later than I would like to have it. I usually like to have my daily section set up, come up on a Monday. And well, I think you're probably going to get this on a Wednesday based off of my schedule. So it just is what it is this week, because we're still kind of like getting used to the flow of going back to school. And the kids are trying to see how much they can do in the morning. And I tell them not to play in the morning. So I did have to tell him to put the clucker away. But yeah, we need to be making sure we have everything. The youngest has already forgotten his water bottle before, so that was fun, because we live in the desert, so he can't be without the water bottle. So yeah, we're all a little bit of a mess still, so that's why this video is coming up late, but better late than never, right? That's what they say. So give me some grace, please. I'm trying, but no, it's all good. I think we're slowly but surely getting everything back in order, following it into a routine that we can all agree with and like. I did start implementing like a night read with the family, one to give myself to continue to read, because I don't want to fall off, because after I did the 75 soft, I was good. Like, I read 3 books in 1 month, and I want to continue to read like that. I don't want to fall off, but also I want my kids to be little readers too. I do believe reading is not just good for like the mind and learning, because while I was reading with the kids, they my youngest had asked me, what a word was, and I got to tell him the definition, and then I asked him to use it in a sentence now that he knows the definition, and he was able to. So obviously it's good for learning, right? But then I also feel like it's good for like empathy, because when you're reading certain books, like, you are forced into the perspective of the protagonist or the antagonist, depending on what book you're reading. but you're forced into their perspective. So you have to, because you're reading things based off of what they're seeing and what they're doing, you're forced into their perspective. So you're forced to see things how they would see it. So it's kind of like, it's not that it's like forced in a bad word, because forced is such a negative connotation, right? But like you can just you have to sit there and understand why that character is making the decisions that they're making. So it's good for empathy, and I definitely want my kids to learn empathy. My daughter is pretty good at it. My sons, I don't want to do the whole boys will be boys things. It's like, no, y'all know better. Y'all not gonna be one of those, oh, it's just boys in the locker room type stuff. No, 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 no. Y'all gotta know better. So I'm trying to teach them. And I do think reading chapter books will help. So we all have our own little chapter books, and we just sit in the living room together, TV off, phones away, and we just read for 30 minutes. 30 minutes is good for them because, again, they're still young. You have to remember they're young. Maybe the time will increase. Maybe they'll ask to read more. Hopefully, in the future, they'll just ask for the time to increase. But for now, I'm not going to force too much, because I know even myself, I have a short attention span, and they are young kids. So I can't expect them to do too much at once, especially when there's something new. So I say all of that, walked all the way around the mulberry bush just to tell you that I am trying to learn a whole new schedule and a whole new routine for my kids, which is why the videos are a little bit all over the place. So hopefully you can understand that, and hopefully you still enjoy the video, I did not describe too much of like what I'm doing in this setup, because it's literally just, me slapping down some stickers where I think they might look good, and I that's basically it. So there was really nothing to talk about when it came to the setup. So I hope you don't mind that I kind of, sidetracked there, went off script to talk about something that I'm pretty sure no one really cares about. But also, it's just like, this is my life. And when we're planning, we're kind of sharing our little lives with each other. So, hopefully we're all cool with that. I am just trying to finish up the last of the decorations here. I did want to add the skateboard girls on Saturday and Sunday, because that's like the weekend. So I do see kids skateboard to school, and I'm like, look at you, you're the cool kid, huh? But no, they're just jokes. But I do see like kids skateboarding in school, and I just think it's just like a fun activity. I always wanted to learn how to skateboard, but I feel like I'm too old now. Like I'm gonna break my hip or something. So I'm gonna leave it to the kids, but it just seems like a fun activity. And since weekends are usually associated with fun, I wanted the fun, quote unquote, fun kids activity to be on the weekend. So that's my thought process there. And then, of course, we had to add the little pun, the little dad joke of rolling into the weekend, because they are on skateboards, which roll. So, yeah, I know y'all did not need me to explain that, but I did. So here we are. So I'm just doing a quick little lettering here to make it look good. And that is basically it for the layout. There's no more stickers. I didn't add washi because the stickers are like quite big, so they do take up a lot of space. So I didn't feel the need to take up more space with washi, but I do like it. I like how it looks. I'm not gonna lie. I just do some doodling here to fill out some of that space, and then I am going to outline this weekend part with my pen. As you know, it is drying out, but I did buy some more pens, so I'm good. We'll be fine, even though this one dries out. Sometimes I do like the way the ink looks when it does dry out, because it has like a feathery texture, and so you can get lots of different textures when it does dry out. But just know you probably won't be able to do the smooth lettering. So I do recommend keeping the pen once it is starting to dry out, and like playing with strokes, and like especially like fast strokes. What I typically use this for back in my drawing days, I used to use it for hair, because since it is all dried out, it's kind of like streaky. And I know that sounds terrible, especially if you're describing hair, because like who wants streaky hair? But it makes like the hair texture for you. And so that's why I like to keep them around. It makes fun textures. And yeah, that's that's just me babbling, trying to talk over this long, boring segment of me writing the weekend. But that is basically it, you guys. I am going to add like a box or something. No, first I'm going to write that it's week 34. That's why I look back to see what week it was to make sure I write down the correct week. And I'm going to use that same dried out pen to write week 34. And as you can see, you'll see once I move my hand, but it is pretty streaky. Now, I know that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. If you don't like it, go get a new, fresh, juicy pen with juicy ink coming out of it. Me, I am going to get my juicy pens, but I also like the streakiness. I don't know. It's like it adds this raw texture and just seems, I don't know, like gritty. And especially if you look at like the scenes that are in this sticker book, they're like school scenes and urban scenes. There's graffiti, and so it kind of plays into that whole like grit vibe. So I don't know, it was working for me. I was kind of feeling it this week. I'm not mad at the lack of ink in the pen for this week specifically. Lastly, I am going to make some boxes for every page. I was trying to think of what box I would make. You guys know I like to journal twice. The first journal would be the journaling prompt from Coffee Monsters Co. And then secondly, on that same day, I'm also journaling about something that happened that day, something I'm grateful for, something that I watched, something that made me angry. So something very specific to that day and whatever journaling prompt that is posted from the Coffee Monsters Co. For this week's block divider or whatever, what have you, I am doing like a loose leaf paper, and I thought that was such a cute idea, seeing as this is like a back to school week. So you know, the loose leaf paper is kind of like school supplies, so it makes sense. You see what my mind is doing. It's making sense in my head. This is a very easy box to do. My children can do it, so I know you can if you really wanted to try it. You're simply using the grid. You're just going to make a dashed line, skipping every other box. In between that every other box on the left side, you're just going to make a backward C or a U shape, whatever helps you visualize what you need to do. And you're going to connect those dashed lines with that backward C shape. And then you're just going to draw a rectangle. And if you want to get a little fancy, you can curve it at the end there and make a triangle at the end to make it look like the piece of paper is rolling up. And then you just take a pink highlighter and you draw a line going vertically and a blue highlighter going horizontally. And there you have it, your loose leaf paper. And you can add 3 punch holes. But this is basically it for the week. I did go ahead and write my, what are they called? My journaling prompts. I'm sorry if you hear my fire alarm ding. They are coming to the apartments to fix that today. So let's just hope they get it done. It's not me. I know it's like a Black person thing to when you hear the fire alarms. It's not me. It's actually my apartment. This is the final flip through though. I love how everything came out. I am surprised at myself at, sticking with these boxes because I usually like to be a little more freeform. But it is what it is. I guess it's what I need for this year, so I'm not going to fight myself. But I love how it turned out. I'm already using it. I'm sorry this video is late, but that is basically it, you guys. If you like the video, feel free to like the video. If you dislike the video, feel free to dislike the video. It's whatever, bro. I hope you stay safe and you stay creative, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.